Okay, hi everyone. My name is Jenny Finn, and I am one of the founders and the executive director at Springhouse. I'm here in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. And what is Springhouse? So I and a group of wonderful people started Springhouse 10 years ago. We've made it 10 years. And the people who founded Springhouse and continued to take care of it did so because we feel that we live in a world where all life is not thriving. So our vision is to live in a world where all life thrives. Of course, this includes the planet that we live with. Um, so in order to live in a world where all life thrives, we're going to have to change. We're going to have to learn how to thrive, learn how to live in the fullness of our lives. And for us, that is what education is for, is to learn how to thrive and then learn how to create the conditions for others to thrive. Unfortunately, in our dominant culture, that is very different from what many of us are used to. So as I said, we're in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We have a mission to practice and share a design that we call sourced design. Sourced design is used to create what I just said, creating thriving for oneself and one's community. There are practices and principles that help people do that in place over time. So Springhouse has a school that's a high school, and we also have a design program for adults who want to start different forms of education and community initiatives where they are. So we support adults globally in starting something really new, whole system educational design change. We support people through programming and then through a network. We also have a print shop where we publish books and posters and something that we call cards to leave around that spread our basic message that life is a gift and it's up to us to take care of it. Life is a gift and it's up to us to take care of it. So we do that through our print shop, and our whole curriculum is informed by that deep understanding that life is a gift and it's up to us to take care of it. So I'll also just say I had no intention of starting a school, zero, none, even though I was finishing a Ph.D. in education, in sustainable education, where the focus on my dissertation and doctoral work was really around how do we get to know ourselves more deeply so we can live in the world with greater clarity, creativity, compassion, and courage. I never intended on starting a school. I'm glad I did, because before I was doing the school thing, I was working in a lot of different kind of societal systems, hospitals, churches, schools, prison systems, to really help people foster vitality where they were. The problem is if you don't have an organizational design, including a school, that takes care of vitality and fosters vitality, you can have a little spark of something, but it won't stay because the curriculum or the design of the thing doesn't take care of that spark of vitality. So I realized that, and now having started a school in place over time has allowed me to see what's possible when a community of teenagers and adults decides, you know what, I want to learn how to take better care of my life. And then I also want to learn how to create the conditions for others to do the same. We're going on 10 years, which is a miracle. Doing this work in a system like education and school, which is so rigidly defined, many of us are used to one way of doing it. To do it really, really differently is very terribly vulnerable. We have a ton of support globally, or there's no way we could have done it this long. And so we feel really, really grateful for that. And I'll just say one final thing. I grew up outside of Detroit, Michigan. I grew up in went to a college prep high school, one of the best in the area. And I was never really asked about who I was. When I left high school, I didn't have a clue who I was. Just went on the path that everyone else was going on. And for me, my teenage years were very messy. My early young adult years were very, very messy, oriented around addiction. And I never really had the support I needed outside of myself to find my way. I had an extraordinary wake up experience when I was 20 years old. And from that time, I began to learn how to take better care of my life and then create the conditions for others to do the same. So I think underneath it all, that's what really motivated me to start a school without even knowing it, that that's what I was going to do, was that you really need, if you're going to learn how to thrive and help others thrive, you need time. You need relationship and time. And the construct of school gives us that. So when you come into Springhouse, you will experience an entirely different educational experience than what most of us are used to. And we plan on continuing to do that because we know that we need more examples of thriving in a world that is having real trouble thriving on almost every level. So that's what I'm up to and what we're up to at Springhouse. Thanks.